Yo okoso, and welcome to Globetrotting. Join us on this episode for kimono, Tokyo, and sumo as we head to Japan. We check out some of the craziest things to see, like the Harajuku girls and rocket festivals. We head to space-age Tokyo and get up to speed on the fastest trains in the world. And if that's not enough, we'll show you 5 things we bet you didn't know about Japan. Japan blooms with the magical shape of cherry blossom trees. It shoots to life during the Rocket Festival. Each April, towns and cities throughout Japan swell with the cloud-like formations of cherry blossom trees. Dotted around the country, the cherry blossom tree has become an important symbol in Japanese culture. They represent all manner of things, from femininity and love to the nature of life. Cherry blossoms have been utilized in Japanese art, manga, anime, and film, as well as musical performances for ambient effect. The flower is also represented on all manner of consumer goods in Japan, including kimono, stationery, and dishware. Cherry blossoms are at the most picturesque when they are flowering, but they only flower for 1 week. Because of their short lifespan, the cherry blossom has come to represent the transient nature of life.
We like cherry blossoms because of the message they carry. It tells us we are released from the coldness of winter. We didn't expect them this early. Usually we have our party in the beginning of April, but as we now predict the best time to be this weekend, we'll move the party forward.
You can see the cherry blossom trees blooming all over Japan during April, when their cloud-like formations make the whole country look like a dreamland. Every year in sleepy mountain towns outside Tokyo, the sky lights up with bamboo rockets. The Rocket Festival dates back to the 1500s, though officials say its roots go back some 100 years prior to that. From 1600 to 1868, the festival went underground as people were banned from using gunpowder. However, local farmers kept the tradition going, teaching each other by word of mouth and from father to son the secrets of bamboo rockets to this day. The festival was celebrated at harvest time and originally called upon the gods to bless their fields for another year.
We all say these are rockets, but I hear this festival derives from ancient firework festivals in this region. However, it's just incredible. I can't describe it. You've got to see it for yourself.
The festival, once a secretive enterprise by the locals, now draws thousands of national and international tourists to the usually sleepy mountain villages, 2 hours north of the Japanese capital, Tokyo. From the futuristic fantasy land that is Tokyo to the tranquility of Mount Fuji and the majesty of Hiroshima, Japan has hotspots to suit any taste. Tokyo blends tradition with sci-fi. Japan's capital city, it bursts with color, light, and sound. Although Tokyo feels distinctly westernized, with its flashing neon signs for Coca-Cola and McDonald's, it retains its own sense of tradition and social harmony. Rainbow Bridge, crossing Tokyo Bay, is a suspension bridge that spans 570 meters and carries 3 transportation lines on 2 decks. The Sensoji Buddhist temple was built in 645 AD, making it Tokyo's oldest temple. The nearby shopping strip combines typical Japanese souvenirs, such as folding fans, with traditional local snacks and foods. The temple is also home to various festivals throughout the year. Another shopping district in Tokyo is Harajuku, but Harajuku breaks all the boundaries of a typical shopping strip. In Harajuku, Tokyo teenagers come together in outlandish outfits. This is one unique shopping spot. Tokyo is an all-around quirky destination. It is famous for its nighttime lights, that are only rivaled by Times Square in New York. Environmentalists have declared that Tokyo should turn off its lights, but in the meantime, it makes for a pretty spectacular show. Mount Fuji is the highest mountain in Japan, standing at almost 4,000 feet. Along with Mount Tate and Mount Haku, it is one of Japan's 3 holy mountains. Mount Fuji lies west of Tokyo, and on a clear day, the mountain can be seen from the bustling city. Mount Fuji is often depicted in art, photography, and film, and is known as a symbol of Japan. Although it has not erupted for 300 years, Mount Fuji is still not considered an extinct volcano. During July and October, it is possible to hike Mount Fuji. This has proved popular with tourists. Up to 200,000 people hike the mountain every year. There are 4 major climbing routes up the mountain. One popular time to climb is during the night, so you can see the sunrise across the surrounding lakes from the top of the mountain. For an ultra-quick way to get back down the mountain, some people paraglide, while running down the ash-covered tracks only takes around 30 minutes. Hiroshima is a major city and the largest of the Japanese islands, but it is known to the world as the first city to endure nuclear warfare. In World War II, Hiroshima was subjected to the atomic bomb. After air raids throughout Japan had killed almost 200,000 people and destroyed many buildings, the Americans engaged in nuclear warfare. The atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima, killed almost 80,000 people instantly, and the noxious gases eventually brought the death toll to between 90 and 140,000 people. Around 70% of the city's buildings were completely destroyed. Hiroshima was rebuilt after World War II ended. It was declared an international city of peace, and the dome design was chosen for the Hiroshima Memorial. There are many events held in commemoration of the victims of the atomic bomb. Folded paper cranes represent prayers for peace, as do floating lanterns. Today, Hiroshima has reinvented itself to become an important city. Located on the coast, Hiroshima is a port city. It is also home to a vast manufacturing industry, largely for Mazda Motor Company. Hiroshima has a distinguished cultural side, with many museums, including the Peace Museum, as well as art galleries and music venues. Although Hiroshima has had a difficult past, it has emerged as a vibrant destination. Japan has a rich culture that dates back thousands of years. Some of the most recognizable symbols of Japanese culture are sushi, geishas, and samurai. For many people in the East and West, sushi is the perfect choice for a quick lunch, dinner, or just a snack. Sushi is known for its health properties. Instead of reaching for a greasy burger, people know that sushi contains the goodness of seaweed, vegetables, and seafood, while rice makes for a filling dish. And the use of seaweed wrapped around a sushi roll means that it is perfect to eat with your hands on the run. And it is not just chance that makes sushi the perfect meal on the go. During the Edo period in Japan, this type of sushi was created by street vendors outside theaters, so people could eat easily with their hands. The traditional form of sushi is fermented fish and rice, preserved with salt. The term sushi literally means it's sour. It came about when sushi was fermented with vinegar rice to make it last longer. Wasabi is the most popular condiment to spice up sushi dishes. Wasabi is made by finely grating the wasabi root vegetable. It is similar to horseradish or hot mustard and is harvested across Japan. Other ingredients used to add flavor to sushi are soy and pickled ginger. Once dressed with this variety of spices and flavors, sushi truly is the best fast food. The ancient tradition of geisha is one of the most fascinating in the modern world. Geisha are women who dedicate their lives to specific dress and skills. They are well versed in the arts of conversation, singing, dancing, playing music, and entertaining. geisha are the perfect hosts. They're often hired for parties or business meetings where they ensure all participants are enjoying themselves. The tradition of geisha goes back hundreds of years. It stems from having royal entertainers, like court jesters, who were all male. As women began to take on the role, they were known as onna geisha, or woman artists. Geisha numbers peaked in the 1920s with around 80,000 practicing geisha. Today, numbers are between 1 and 2,000. It takes a lifetime of training and dedication to become a geisha. To begin with, they must complete difficult tasks as maids designed to make or break them. Following their success in this stage, they will become Meiko, apprentice geisha. This stage of training includes dance, singing, playing music, conversation skills, gaming, and serving tea. Their skills are often utilized by businessmen trying to strike a deal together, who need to make sure both parties will have a good time. Samurai is an important part of Japanese culture that has helped to define their philosophies and way of life. Samurai began around 1,500 years ago. The samurai were members of the military class, the Japanese warriors. Samurai employed a range of weapons such as bows and arrows, spears and guns, but their most famous weapon and their symbol was the sword. Samurai were supposed to lead their lives according to the ethic code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. Strongly Confucian in nature, Bushido stressed concepts such as loyalty to one's master, self-discipline, and respectful ethical behavior. Samurai developed their own cultures that influenced Japanese culture as a whole. The culture associated with the samurai, such as the tea ceremony, monochrome ink painting, rock gardens, and poetry, were adopted by warrior patrons throughout the centuries 1200 to 1600. The philosophies of Buddhism and Zen, and to the lesser extent Confucianism and Shinto, influenced the samurai culture and have come to influence Japanese culture. Also pioneered in France, Germany, the United States, and Russia. Animation grew in popularity because it allowed artists to create fantasy characters and settings. Anime has become popularized throughout the world. Shows such as Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z have helped to bring anime to a wider audience.
Anime places more importance on the moral values in their stories. The characterizations are still universal and touch us all the more, like honor, chivalry, courage, and the search for oneself. These are the kinds of things you don't find that often in Western movies and animation.
Many commentators refer to anime as an art form. As a visual medium, it naturally places a large emphasis on visual styles, more so than traditional Western-style animation. If you want to see the world at 1,000,000 miles an hour, Japan is the best place to do it. The Japanese are big fans of their super sleek, super fast trains, known as the bullet train or Shinkansen. The Shinkansen is a network of high-speed railway lines in Japan. There are over 1,500 miles of railway that connect most major cities on the islands of Honshu and Kyushu. And the most exciting part? They travel at speeds around 180 miles an hour. Test runs have even reached 275 miles an hour. That's 50 miles faster than a Formula One car. Although there are other high-speed lines around the world, Japan has the busiest high-speed railway network in the world. One of the Shinkansen lines carries 375,000 passengers a day. Overall, it has transported 4.5 billion passengers. So for a truly Japanese experience, hop on a bullet train and speed through the countryside. Did you know Japan is at the forefront of robotic technology. For many years, the Japanese have taken a great interest in pioneering technologies. The aging population in Japan means that in the not-so-distant future, robots may have an important part to play in everyday life. Honda has created one of the best humanoid robots, called Asimo. Asimo stands at 130 centimeters and resembles an astronaut with a backpack on. It can walk or run on 2 feet, can recognize moving objects, has facial recognition, can recognize different environments and terrain, and can distinguish sounds. Each Asimo costs around $1 million to manufacture. Did you know? The Japanese have recently discovered 2 different kinds of deep-sea sharks, not usually found above depths of 1,200 meters. A marine park official believed a particular seasonal upcurrent from the deep seas carried these sharks up to the surface.
Though we are not sure why we would capture several deep sharks in such a short period, we know clearly that those sharks have been found and captured in Tokyo Bay since the old day. I suppose the reason for their frequent appearances may be connected with its geographical formation, where water depth suddenly drops from shallow to deep sea.
The goblin sharks, or living fossil sharks, were caught by Japanese fishermen around Tokyo Bay. They provide scientists with an insight into what lies beneath, and they aren't too easy on the eye. Did you know Osaka has the second highest daytime population in Japan, with a total of 3.7 million people? In Japan, populations are measured by daytime and nighttime populations, as these can change dramatically due to commuting. The fact that there are 3.7 million people in Osaka during the day shows that it is an economic and business center. But that's not all that Osaka has to offer. It is referred to as the nation's kitchen. Some dishes that have come out of Osaka include the famous udon noodles. Although Osaka's population is lower at nighttime, it only drops to around 2.4 million people, which means there's still plenty of activity and entertainment on offer. Did you know? Kimonos are made from a single bolt of fabric called a tan. Bolts come in standard dimensions, and the entire bolt is used to make the kimono. The finished kimono consists of 4 main strips of fabric, 2 panels covering the body, and 2 panels for the sleeves. Kimonos were traditionally hand-stitched, and they would be taken apart for washing and re-stitched afterwards. Kimonos are usually worn by women on special occasions. Some men wear the kimono to ceremonies such as weddings, tea ceremonies, or other formal occasions. Today, it is unusual for people to wear a kimono on a daily basis. However, professional sumo wrestlers must always wear traditional dress. Did you know? In Japan, making a garden is considered a high art, similar to calligraphy or ink painting. Traditionally, Japanese gardening techniques were passed down from sensei to apprentice. One book from the 15th century states that if you have not received the oral transmissions, you must not make gardens. And you must never show this writing to outsiders. You must keep it a secret. The art of making gardens was considered highly important in Japanese culture. Japanese gardens were influenced by traditional Chinese gardens. The Zen monks, in particular Koken Shirin, and his essay, Rhyme Prose on the Miniature Garden, also shaped the future of Japanese gardens, in particular bonsai.